Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the very first episode of the slowest growing Battlebots podcast on the internet, the Jack and Mac Robot Roundup. My name is Jack
Keyword.
Finney. Some of you. Shut up, you. It's not your turn yet. Anyway, as I was saying, my name is Jack Finney. Some of you may have heard me previously on the Hardcore podcast with Otaku Nate and Brandon. It's been a long time since I've done a robot fighting podcast, but I decided, with the help of my good friend Mac here, that we were going to finally just get around to just putting one out there. I personally have been following robot combat for pretty much my entire life, ever since 1998, I want to say, when I was 4 or 5 years old, depending on what time of year it was. Either way, with the very first season of Robot Wars and BattleBots being broadcast on Channel 5 shortly thereafter. Uh, with me right now is my good friend, Australian filmmaker, and the man single-handedly keeping KFC in business down in Australia, my good friend Mac. Mac, take it away.
What the? Oh boy. Hello. I am me. I am Makon, the man. Uh, yeah. I've been watching robot fighting since. Oh god. When would have been like around 2000, like when Robot Wars was airing over here. I think it was on
That
channel. I think
does,
it was,
yeah, that does sound about right, because
yeah.
you've spoken about Hypnodisc before, and that would have been Hypnodisc started competing around either late 1999 or early 2000 when the
Yeah.
Third Wars was airing, which would have been airing around that time for you as
Yeah,
well.
like it was around that time. Like I was a big Hypnodisc mark. Like I was big on him. He sort of won, but he didn't. And yeah, like
Uh,
I sort of like fell off like after it stopped airing over here, and then like I saw my interest sort of peaked when like Chris Jericho had that show, but I never watched it. And it was apparently terrible.
God, I forgot that he hosted that, to be honest.
I'll say,
Which,
do you want to fucking
which
find it and
really,
watch it with me? Because like
no,
we could see,
no,
no, we
I
can
want
review
not,
it and see how bad it is.
I really don't
That'd be
know,
a fun
because, I
watch.
mean, I really don't care for modern day Chris
I,
Jericho, and that show
no,
was,
but
it was so bad.
yeah, but that, no,
Like,
that
really,
wasn't
really
Monday
bad.
Jericho. That was early 2010 Jericho. That's a big difference.
Well, he was still on the slide back then, but I digress.
Yeah, but I mean,
Anyway,
look, we could have the comparison of good robot fighting and bad robot fighting.
I
Uh,
mean, if we really wanted to do that, we could just watch the KFC Death Camp show from a couple of years ago. Remember that? Clashbots? Ugh.
no, I don't. Wait, what the hell?
Yeah, I'll explain it to you later. Trust me, you don't want to watch it. It's terrible.
I mean,
Anyway,
look, Jack, the saying it's terrible makes me want to watch it. You know my taste in goddamn entertainment.
touche.
Yeah, but
Anyway,
yeah,
returning to where we were.
yep.
A
So yeah,
couple of years ago, I was actually, I believe, the one to reintroduce you to robot combat, partly through BattleBots and partly through the then airing King of Bots when that was still on the air.
it was, Robot Wars first, like the Robot Wars like reboot first.
Oh yeah, I remember now. I let you know that Robot Wars was coming back, which excited you because the
Yep.
idea of Hypnodisc possibly coming back sadly
Yes,
didn't happen,
did not
but
happen.
you never know what might come in the future. After that, I let you know about King of Bots and the return of BattleBots to the air, and we just started watching it week to week together.
Yep.
And over time, yeah. And
It's
now here we are,
it's become a
several
thing.
seasons later, recording our own podcast.
Yes, which I hardly doubt anyone will listen to, but who knows? We might get an audience.
Yeah, maybe. Well, like I said, we are going to be the slowest growing BattleBots podcast out there.
And every week you will hear this kind of self-deprecating humor. Did I say deprecating or I have no idea what I was trying to say there.
Pretty sure you did say self-deprecating, yes.
Like yeah. But yeah, like
Anyway,
okay,
so
yeah.
as you can all hear, between us, we've got like close to 25 years worth of Robot Combat viewing experience on my part, and around 20 on Mac's part. I was still following the live event circuit for many years as well before the return of Robot Combat to the airwaves. So
Yeah, because
we've
you
got
actually
that
had a
going for
live
us.
circuit there. We didn't really have anything over here.
Yeah, that's the thing. Australia really doesn't have a lot going for it in
We-
terms of what is available in robot fighting, although I do believe that there is a bigger lightweight circuit down there.
Oh, is it? Oh,
I would have to look into it. I do know that prior to Death Roll coming to prominence in Battlebots, there was still there was still some stuff going on down in Australia, but don't quote me on that. I would
okay.
have to properly investigate it. Anyway,
Okay.
without further ado, I believe it's time to move on to actually analyzing the episode, which is what whatever audience that we already have will be here for, no doubt.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
So, okay, opening up with the episode. Of course, we had Farouk spitting fire as usual. It was great to see an actual audience back. Not that I had any issue with the teams acting as the audience in the previous season, but
Uh,
it's great to have like an actual legitimate audience there
of,
as well.
of course, the good old Thunderdome era is over, and now we're back in the saddle. Back with the audience.
Good one. All right, and we also saw the introduction of the new upper deck hazard, which now
Ah, yes.
prevents the out of the arena flips, which apparently was for health and safety reasons, because apparently it was actually quite hazardous trying to remove the robots that got, say,
Oh,
slotted in
okay.
like a toast slot or mail slotted, like happened to Duck versus Bronco years ago.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, like that. Okay, that makes sense.
There's also the more cynical interpretation that they did it to remove out of the arenas as an option after what happened with Tombstone versus Endgame last year, ending the fight in 9 seconds, which, if so, is just a massive disappointment because, like, even if I'm not as big on out of the arena flips as a lot of other classic Robot Wars fans are, it was still, it's still a massive blow to any flipper bot that can't, shake its opponent to death, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, who really gets like hit the worst with that?
Let's see. Well, it's not really an issue for robots like Hydra because Hydra kicks with enough force that it's still going to do a lot of damage just from the flips.
Yeah, true.
But at the same time, it is annoying that it would make that sort of thing a lot more inconvenient for example, some of the Brit flipper teams that were looking to come over, like Ripper and Orion, for example.
Okay.
Who, fingers crossed, will be there next year.
Hopefully.
But we can only hope that we aren't met with the same sort of COVID restrictions that we had this time. On that note, we move into the very first episode, the very first fight of the night. Sorry,
Yep.
and what a fight it turned out to be: Sawblaze versus Minotaur. Oh,
What a fight that was. Like,
where to even begin with this fight, man?
I I
It's just
I had Minotaur going into this, and Minotaur's like one of those robots that like you keep thinking will do really well, and it keeps losing.
well, to be fair, Minotaur does have an excellent pedigree, making it very, very far in previous tournaments. Personally, I was rooting for Sawblaze going into this because of Jameson Go's fantastic track record,
Yep.
who has been very, very consistent in the last few years. And, oh, like, right from the intros, you already knew this was going to be great, because Farouk, as usual, spitting fire, fantastic introductions, and then boom, the fight itself, fantastic early aggression from Minotaur, but, Sawblaze recovering brilliantly and boom, just dishing out blow after mighty blow and basically destroying it from the inside out with the hammer saw, causing it to go up in smoke. It was
Yep.
absolutely brilliant, absolutely brutal. Brilliant driving match between the two of them, but it was honestly pretty one-sided in some ways.
Yes.
Which is to take nothing away from Minotaur because Minotaur, it took all of that and it just kept going.
It was
would
on
not
fire.
stop.
It was on fire,
Yes.
and it lived. It kept living.
It was on fire for like 2 minutes of the fight as
Like
well.
it wasn't until like the last minute where its like weapon died. Like, because the weapon was
Basically,
still
yeah.
going until like it's like the last minute.
And when it did that, it managed to take out Sawblaze's weapon with it because Sawblaze lost its weapon belts
Yeah.
at that point. So at that point, it was just the driving belt left, and well, at that point, Minotaur had basically been gutted from the inside out. So even if it was hanging in there, it was asking a lot to come back at that point
Yeah.
and beat Sawblaze. But you have to give them credit for the heroic effort in hanging in there
Yeah,
for as long
honestly,
as they did.
it was close. It honestly was close. Like, and I have no issues with Swordblaze getting the W here.
Yeah, absolutely. It was fantastic. brilliant 9 out of 10 fight. It was actually quite. I was quite close to giving it a 10, but like I wouldn't have been comfortable giving that to the very first fight of the season. But god damn, did this set expectations high for the rest of the episode.
Yeah, which unfortunately not a lot like managed to clear the bar, but yeah, that's how it is sometimes.
To be fair, it's like an Olympic pole vault level bar being set
Yeah.
right from the get go. So there's really only so much that you can do in those situations.
Exactly.
Anyway, moving on, and I will say later on in the episode we will be handing out specific awards, so watch this space as well.
Yeah, it's
Right.
the big award.
Uppercut versus Gigabyte as the second bout of the night. Now,
Yeah.
going into this, both of us picked Uppercut because
Yeah.
like not to take anything away from Gigabyte, because Gigabyte is always a perennial contender. It's just that Uppercut, absolutely dominated last season before it finally got taken down. It was like put in a fantastic showing. It's one of the robots to beat in this season as well. So yeah, both of us felt very comfortable picking Uppercut going into this.
Yeah, like Uppercut's always been a beast, and like Gigabyte more often than not like kind of screws itself over. So yeah, I didn't really see it standing a chance.
Well, it really depends on Gigabyte, because a lot of the time they've just fallen victim to sheer bad luck.
Yeah.
Like for example, when they use some of those Chinese manufactured parts that unfortunately ended up breaking under the strain during the fight. Like for example, when it fought Tombstone, and Tombstone basically knocked the entire shell off.
Yeah, basically eyes too big for its mouth at that point.
Yeah, pretty much. But
now,
yeah.
now it's big. Now he's become a big boy.
Oh yeah, Gigabyte, absolute unit, big chungus.
Big. Oh yeah, we're going back to the old memes now.
Oh no, I should have said Gig Chungus.
God damn it.
Oh Mac, come on, Chungus is timeless, you know this.
He is the most timeful thing ever. What? But yeah. What a
Okay,
fight.
so moving on to the actual fight itself. Now, Uppercut demonstrated fantastic control in this, but Gigabyte really did make them work for it throughout all of this.
Oh yeah. Like,
because Gigabyte, it didn't go down without a fight. But the thing is, Uppercut, as said before, they are one of the robots to watch this season, demonstrated fantastic control during this fight. They actually, rather appropriately considering the theme of the robot, actually boxed it into the corner, in between the corner of the box and the deck, cutting it off a lot like a heavyweight boxer would.
yeah, like there was one point where Gigabyte.
Every time Gigabyte tries to get, sorry about that. Yeah. Every time Gigabyte tries to get out, Uppercut just moves in, cuts them off, and then just keeps dishing out the hurt.
Yes, and Gigabyte actually did have a chance to get out at one point, but didn't. I don't know if like it was just they couldn't get like the timing right for like moving it or not, but like yeah, like this fight is more than anything like a sort of, I guess, a cautionary tale for like any robots like Gigabyte that like needs the space to move to like sort of avoid that exact corner. And the other one.
Yeah, that does sound about right, because it is always the problem with full body spinners. They can be very difficult to control due to the nature of the weapon and, be able to line it up properly.
Exactly.
But in this case, yeah, Uppercut, if you give them an inch, they will hone right in on it and knock you straight out. Pun intended.
Yeah.
because they managed some big hits, and Gigabyte, to their credit, they took quite a few. It was only when the self-writing bar got taken out that they were, finally put down for the count.
Exactly. We got some really good hits in this match, though. We got some excellent throws.
Yeah, definitely. Like, just damn near punching it across the box at various points, but Gigabyte hanging in there for as long as it could until the bar gives up the ghost.
Exactly.
Overall, I gave this fight a 7 out of 10, which isn't a bad score, of course.
Yep.
And I believe you had it for the same as well?
Yeah, I believe so.
Like, 7 out of 10 when you compare it to the previous bouts, 9 out of 10 anyway. But yeah, great opening bout for Uppercut this season. I predict it to make the round of 16 quite comfortably as it did before.
Yep.
We're going to see who it's up against this season, of course. Gigabyte managed to make the round of 16 last time. I think they could do it again because, they were in good form this fight. They just, had the unfortunate luck to get boxed into the corner like that.
I think it's going to depend on, like, who their opponents are, because there are a lot... The field's big for this year for, like, some quality robots, so...
It's true. We've got a lot of great stuff to come as well.
Yeah, if Gigabyte gets the right opponents, it could absolutely make it to the round of 16. But
yeah, definitely.
Who knows?
Yeah. Well, fingers crossed for them, and I look forward to seeing how they do throughout this, because, I'm not the biggest spinner fan. Personally, I feel like Battlebots is oversaturated with spinner type of machines. But it is always good to see a full-body spinner still doing well in this day and age, because it's not often you see that many that are still competitive at this point. But I guess that we'll come to that later anyway.
Yes.
On that note, moving on to the next fight, we have Gruff versus the newcomers Switchback.
Yes, the young lion.
Yes. Now, immediately, Mac and I were both actually very interested in the weapon configuration on Switchback, which in and of itself is a very interesting type of weapon. The full 180 degrees arm with the spinner on the end that can potentially attack from either direction, or potentially do like a big Pele kick style attack. Thank you, AJ Styles.
Yeah.
So the potential is definitely there. Interesting design, very unique type of weapon. But unfortunately for them, they're coming out of the gate against Gruff, and Gruff is obviously one of the most durable bots in the competition. We've seen it do very, very well against the likes of Tombstone, and it's a fantastically driven robot as well.
Yeah.
So, it's an uphill battle coming right out of the gate for the new rookies.
Yeah, Switchback also quite slow. The movements weren't really that crisp.
Yeah, that was the thing. I was wondering if they were already suffering from mechanical issues coming right out of the gate, because we heard a lot of stuff about how prepared they are, but it was odd to see the robot so sluggish in its first bout.
I mean,
it seemed like it was having some big mobility issues in regards to its steering. Maybe Gruff hit it quite hard at one point and it knocked out part of the drive?
Maybe. But, I don't know, if I felt like it was going slow as the match actually started, before they even made contact.
I'm just remembering what it reminded me of. It reminds me of, do you remember last year when Claw Viper had an absolutely very impressive debut bout, but in its next fight, everything seemed to go wrong for it in terms of drive?
Yes, yeah.
Right, it felt a lot like that.
Okay.
But here's hope. In any case, with Switchback, team captain seemed very, very likable, very humble. I very much enjoyed his perspective in the little interview that we got with him. I'm hoping that they can work out the kinks, because Switchback in and of itself, there's a lot of potential in that design, and it's always interesting to see how unique machines do in these sorts of environments, and hopefully they'll be able to work out all of the kinks.
Oh yeah, this is one of those robots that going forward is gonna improve a lot. You're gonna see some major improvements over the next few years.
Right, makes sense. Okay, so overall, I give that fight a 5 out of 10 because there really isn't much to go. There's nothing below average going on there. But there's nothing really impressive.
Yeah, I gave it a 6 just because of the potential of Switchback. And that's about it.
That being said, it was also quite interesting to see Gruff just flambe it with its giant flamethrower. I never get tired of seeing that. That is why I love Gruff, and I really hope Gruff does really well this year.
I mean, hopefully.
Now, the next fight.
Yeah, God.
It's one that we have very much been looking forward to discussing.
Oh,
it is God. Captain Shredderator versus Tombstone.
Captain fucking Shredderator. You're fucking kidding me. What the actual hell?
Yes. The thing, neither of us have any disrespect for Captain Shredderator.
Oh, I have all the disrespect for Captain Shredderator. I meme on it every year.
It's true, he really does, actually. It's like I respect the Captain Shredderator team for their longevity in the sport, but nobody really expects anything from them at this point, which isn't anything against them. It's just that Shredderator doesn't really seem to hold up that well in today's robot combat scene. But
It's the journeyman. It's the fucking journeyman of robots. And tonight it got its bloody God, what's it? Oh, I keep forgetting his name. Like the guy who beat Skip.
oh god, I see what this is now. This is Matt Serra versus GSP.
Okay, MMA reference. Yeah, that works as well.
Yeah, because Matt Serra, who never, really got much going for him throughout his career, spent his career as a journeyman, out of nowhere KO's George St. Pierre to become the UFC welterweight champion.
Oh god.
But yeah, here, Captain fucking Shredderator, get the fuck out of
Get the
KO.
KO.
That was the exact moment.
Yeah.
We were watching it, and Mac was making that exact joke and just trailed off when he saw Tombstone essentially self-destruct.
Yeah,
From the force of the blows.
Tombstone has been on the has just straight up been on the decline for since last season.
And this is the thing, it's not really due to Tombstone's fault either. It's more just the fact that everybody else has become massively elevated at this point, because by the very nature of robot combat, it is a sport that legitimately gets better and better every year.
Yeah, they needed to combat Tombstone, and boy, we are seeing the fruits of that labor.
Yes, because at this point, everybody is basically preparing for the eventuality that they're going to have to fight Tombstone.
Tombstone's
so
oh my god, he's the Thanos of this fucking division.
I mean, he was the big villain, and he's no longer the big villain of the Battlebots cinematic universe.
Yeah, he's passed the torch to.
Yep, straight up past the torch, which we will discuss later.
Yep.
But the real big reason that Tombstone lost out in this fight, I think, is because by default, Tombstone doesn't really do that well against wedges, and Captain Shredderator, no matter how you feel about it, the fact of the matter is, it is a big spinning wedge, essentially.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
So every time that Tombstone was hitting it, it was basically jarring itself. For example, I believe at one point we saw a piece of Tombstone's weapon actually fly off of the blade, and I think that it may have ricocheted and landed back inside Tombstone, which was what caused it to start blowing up from the inside out.
Good, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, that was basically the combination of that and the typical shaking itself to death when something goes wrong with a spinner.
So basically, Tombstone shot itself in its own foot.
Essentially.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
But it was just like just the physics of having to face Captain Shredderator like that with that type of that type of angled shell. It was never going to end well for Tombstone in that situation.
It was the perfect combination of things to get one of the greatest upset wins of all time.
Yep, this looks like a job for Aquaman, basically. Oh, that's disrespectful to Aquaman, but it's a similar reputation, unfortunately.
Yeah. Oh god, that's a really good comparison. God.
So the point is, we had a 6, maybe 7 out of 10 fight itself, but it's elevated to 10 out of 10 by the result, because this is hands down the biggest win of Shredderator's career. Because, just take a bow, you defeated the Dreaded.
Now, but the question is, will it continue to be good, or will it be like the goddamn Mulkey brothers and just immediately job again?
I always forget about the Mulkey brothers.
Dude, the Mulkeys are straight up the best fucking jobbers in wrestling ever. They're up there. Because, everyone loved to work with them.
I don't know, there is the Bushwhackers.
But the Bushwhackers weren't jobbers, first of all, and second of all, they sucked.
Hey.
I mean, when they were sheep herders, they were cool, but the Bushwhackers gimmick was awful.
Okay, you know what? Point conceded there. Anyway, so like we said, 6, maybe 7 out of 10 fight, elevated to 10 out of 10 by the result, and earmark this one because we are going to talk about this match again later on when we give out the episode awards.
Yes,
On that note, and it's another award-worthy one here, actually. We come to the next bout, Free Shipping versus Blacksmith.
Oh yes, what a close fight this was. I mean, we're
Yes.
not that close as the opening fight, but like, God, Free Shipping gave it its all.
I would argue that it was closer than the opening fight, actually.
Really?
Yeah, well, with the opening fight, Minotaur gave a very heroic fight back, but it never really put Sawblaze in danger of losing the fight.
Yeah, fair.
Free Shipping, I argue, had a much closer fight here than Sawblaze versus Minotaur did.
Yeah, fair.
As we'll discuss later on,
Yeah.
but I was immediately looking forward to this fight because I'm a big fan of both teams, both for Free Shipping and its original sim version, and for Blacksmith as well, who I have long touted as arguably the most underrated robot that was still in robot combat right now.
Yes.
Because Blacksmith always has just horrible luck with judges' decisions every time because, you know, judges don't really look that kindly on hammers because of the visible damage stuff, which is really, really unfortunate because, you know, I absolutely love hammer bots. Like, I'm a big fan of Beta. I love Nelly the Ellie bot when she was around. Hope to see her back. Shout out to you, Sarah Malian, if you're listening. Anyway, but yeah, I was very much looking forward to this, in part because I love Blacksmith's new design and seeing them incorporate the hammer saw. Now, this was one of those things I was hemming and humming a little bit about, you know, I didn't really feel right seeing Blacksmith with anything other than a dedicated hammer, but I know that it was kind of necessary to switch to the hammer saw in order to allow it to remain competitive. Just because, like I said, horrible luck with hammers and the judges' decisions in the past, so this was really the only way that they could remain competitive at this stage in the sport. And as we saw, fantastic decision on their part to adopt this. Mac, do you have anything you'd like to say here before I continue?
Honestly, no. Like you're pretty much running away with this. Like I mean, I'm not the best like at analytics anyway, so there's not really a lot I can say about the background of this. But like what I can say is once again we got fire.
Yes, fire everywhere.
This episode was just full of fire.
Inferno. Yes, there was fire absolutely everywhere. We had friggin' Tombstone bursting into flames in the last bit. Now we've got 2 dedicated flamers as well. It was absolutely fantastic. Brilliant driving bout between these two. Free Shipping / Original Sin's driving pedigree is absolutely well known. It's got a fantastic combat record. Al Kindle, fantastic driving as well throughout his team over the years as well. I mean, look at Blacksmith versus Minotaur from years ago. That was a brilliantly done fight. Fight of the century, as they used to call it, I believe. But yeah, Blacksmith, great control as well. Did fantastic job inflicting damage on Free Shipping, and Free Shipping is tough as old boot leather as well.
Oh, absolutely.
So for Blacksmith to be able to like cut slots in those thick wedges as well, that was something else. Now, but that being said, nothing to be taken away from Free Shipping as well. Free Shipping, absolutely heroic fight back, great aggression, very methodical approach from Blacksmith, I found. I'd say that the aggression was fairly even, maybe a little bit more on Free Shipping's side.
Yeah.
And if I had to pick, control was probably more along the lines of Free Shipping. Great driving performance from them.
Yeah.
Damage, of course, easily goes to Blacksmith on the basis of how much damage it did. And when this went to the judge's decision, both of us actually scored this for Free Shipping, albeit very, very narrowly.
Yeah.
Just based off of the control. But then the damage really, you know, is the most important part of this. And yeah, we got there in the end. And finally, Blacksmith manages to walk away with a judge's decision victory. And, you know, I'm just so happy to see that happen. To the point that I really didn't mind at all that I was wrong about the decision outcome on my part.
Yeah. Yeah, like...
Because, yeah, it... And we also got to see Al Kindle smile, which is quite rare. Could this be the end of the grumpy Al Kindle judge's decision meme? I guess we'll find out next time, won't we?
Next time we go through a goddamn draw. Like, no, sounds the same way.
In any case, fantastic fight. You had it at 9 out of 10, I believe,
didn't
you?
Yes, I had it the same as the opening fight.
Yep, and it was also a 8.5 to 9 out of 10 for me as well.
Yes.
Yeah, just
Actually,
fantastic fight.
actually thinking
And
about it now, I might have mixed up the like the my feelings of like the first fight and this fight, because I couldn't remember like which one like I was like surprised at the result by. It might have been this
right.
one, I think. Cause like think
Yeah,
about
that
it now, yeah, like the Minotaur match like made sense that he lost.
fair enough. But
Okay.
yeah, fantastic fight. Great to see Blacksmith walk away with the win. And I am really looking forward to seeing how Blacksmith does throughout all of this, because I really want to see them make the round of 16 for the first time in forever.
Ooh.
Because
When was the
they've
last
just
time?
had the worst luck. I can't really remember. I want to say if it made the round of 16 at all, it was, I want to say back in season 2,
Okay.
but I could be wrong. I would need to double check. My memory's a little bit hazy today. Forgive me, everyone. I have my COVID booster today, so I may be a little bit disoriented in some ways.
Let me see if I can find that then. Discovery season 5. So season 2, you said.
I want to say that, yes, because it was only because Blacksmith didn't have a good record in the first Discovery season that I recall, so they didn't make it that time, and they didn't make it last season or the season before, I believe.
Okay. Trying to ABC season 2, right?
Yes.
Okay, so see where is it? God. Trying to find. I saw which one again? Which robot?
ABC season 2.
No, I mean which
Blacksmith.
robot? Blacksmith. Sweet 16. Blacksmith was not in. Oh wait, was it? No, it wasn't.
Alright, well, that answers that. Yeah. Moving on. We have the next bout of the fight. I will say now, neither of us have seen the YouTube exclusive fight either. I wasn't able to find it. For the uninformed, that's Jackpot versus Deadlift.
Yeah, I was actually gonna ask about that.
Yeah, I unfortunately haven't been able to find that fight. I'm pretty sure that it was exclusive to the Battlebot supporters, so yeah, I don't know.
Nah.
Anyway, Pain Train versus Deep Six. There isn't really a lot to say on this fight, in my opinion. Because it went pretty much exactly the way that I thought it was going to. Deep Six manages the massive hit to knock Pain Train out, although Pain Train did manage to stay somewhat competitive throughout.
Yeah, like it had a good like attempt, I guess is the best way to put it. But then it got like it just got kicked around and just it's the result you expected.
Yeah, it just it ripped it open like a can opener. Which is to be expected of Deep Six when you see that monstrous weapon.
It basically is just a big can opener.
Basically. Oh, man. But here's hoping Pain Train can bounce back from this at some point. Deep Six, we'll see how well it does, because it's one of those big glass cannon type of robots in much the same way that Nightmare was. But we'll see how that translates to tournament success later on, because it really depends on who they're going to be up against, I think. Because not to say that Deep Six is a gimmick robot of any kind, but like with that type of weapon, it's a very situational type of robot for how it's going to do, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I hope I didn't drown you in stuff then, anyway.
Anyway, we have up next.
We have anyway. I
Main
personally give
evento.
that fight a 5 out of 10. So,
Yeah. But I think I also gave it 5.
yes. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, and with that, we come to the main event of the episode: Hydra
Yes.
versus Endgame.
Yes, the heel versus the babyface, the champion.
Yeah. Now, before this, we got to see the great passing of the torch moment between Hydra and Tombstone.
Amazing segment.
Yes, just Ray giving him the trophy, document, like officially confirming him as the new BattleBots villain. No, you absolutely have to love it.
Yeah.
And this is just one of many reasons to love Ray Billings. He's such a fantastic sportsman, even with his villainous reputation.
he just loves the business. This
really
is
does.
literally the business that we love. Oh my
I mean,
god.
it makes sense. Nobody makes any money from BattleBots after all. So,
Yeah.
I mean, well, I mean,
I
there is
mean, some
prize
do.
money as far as I know, but it doesn't even really cover the cost of actually building a robot. Given most of the teams are spending like 25 grand a season on building the robot. So,
Yeah. But man,
but
this.
I mean, I guess you can kind of afford to do this stuff when you have your own machining shops.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, true. But man, this main event, it so was a main event.
yep, it was a match, all right. It was.
It existed.
Yep. They definitely put those robots in the box, and they
they, they certainly did collide at some point. I mean, like it wasn't a
uh,
bad match. It was just
yeah, it wasn't what we were hoping for a big main event between
yeah,
the champion and the big heel of the
yeah.
season.
And to be fair, like it wasn't really anyone's fault. It was just like it just sort of happened. Like
Yeah,
it was
it
just a
seemed like
big
Hydra
accident.
was having some. It seemed like Hydra was having some mechanical difficulties out of the gate because they managed to get that one big flip in on Endgame,
Yeah,
but after that, it didn't really quite work out. Their weapon got locked open, and that's basically a death sentence against a robot like Endgame, which is so well driven and so durable as well.
hmm. I would say
And
that
they just came in and they just battered him
yeah.
all over the arena.
I'll say that Endgame's like plan of having like the big prongs, like it kind of backfired a little bit, but at the same time, like it still worked out for him.
At the same time, it did manage, like, it made it a little bit more difficult for them at first, but when they really got into the swing of things, they were able to really bully Hydra around the box at that point.
Yeah, but
So,
at the same time, they also lost like one of the long prongs, so that made it a lot easier for them.
yeah, this is true. But the fact of the matter is, Hydra, fantastically engineered machine, regardless of how you feel about the team, doesn't take those type of hits very well because there's a lot of delicate circuitry and the armor is a little bit thin.
Yeah.
It makes sense though because there's not really a lot of surface area,
Hmm.
as far as I'm aware, to be found with Hydra
Yeah, true.
on how everything is distributed.
Yeah, like I'm sure they're gonna bounce back from this like easily.
Oh, absolutely. They are going to come back big later in the season, mark my words.
Yeah.
Although that being said, I will not deny that I did get some satisfaction out of seeing Hydra get its ass beat this time.
Oh, I mean, yeah, obviously we are a big anti-Hydra fan here, fan base
Yeah,
here.
basically. For huge.
Oh god.
Oh
But yeah.
well, Hell Hydra, some say. So yeah.
Yeah, it's
Overall-
those kinds of villains.
Anyway, 6 out of 10 for that fight.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, just because like it not really living up to the hype that you would hope.
But
But
that's just a circumstance.
overall, we had a very good episode in many ways. Not gonna say that it was perfect because obviously there are some things that we've taken some issue with. But overall, I had it at a 7.5 out of 10. Like a very good opening episode, and it really sets the bar for a lot of other things in the season. So
Yeah.
I'm very much looking forward to that.
Yeah, I gave it an
Matt,
8,
what did you
I
have?
believe.
Matt,
Yeah.
you have it in a name?
Yeah, I
Cool.
I believe I gave it an 8, like when we were talking last night.
Yep, that sounds about right. And yep, according to my notes, that is correct. Okay, so with that, we are going to move on to the episode relevant awards.
Yes.
Now, we've got now every week we have 5 awards to give out. We're gonna try and keep them consistent as to what ones go out each episode, but you never know. It's gonna really depend on what we feel each episode has going for it each week. So,
Yeah.
without further ado, we are going to move on with the Best Driving Award. for the-
Yes. And Zach, there is only
Now-
one robot that can win this award, and that really deserves it.
Yep, that's true. We had to give this one to Sawblaze, didn't we?
Yes, we did. It's just dominated.
Yes, just absolutely brilliant performance on the part of Sawblaze. And just, sheer dominance, brilliant control, all about the box.
Got into the right places at the right times.
Yep, Minotaur put up a good fight, but, Jameson Go is an absolute driving phenom. The man is just an absolute legend when it comes to his driving. One of the finest Battlebots drivers out there. Absolutely deserving of this award. That being said, the runner-up for this award this week was Free Shipping,
Yes.
because Free Shipping put up a heroic fight against Blacksmith, but ultimately just could not overcome. But we'll come back to that later, because that actually does have some relevance later on.
Okay.
Do you have anything else to say on the best driving award, Matt?
Nah, not really.
Yep, that says
We're
it all,
good.
really, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah. I mean, what else is this? What else is there to say? It's driving.
Yes,
Good driving.
exactly. All right. Okay. So the Knockout of the Night award, we have again. There was only one choice for this
Yeah.
award. It was Captain fucking Shredder.
Get
It
the fuck out of here.
absolutely had to be.
Yeah.
I mean, just not only for the how of it, because it was very impressive seeing Tombstone basically just burst into flames like that as a result of the repeated impacts, but also for what it represents. I mean, Captain Shredderator has, in the last several seasons, had one victory.
Yep.
That's it. Before this, and that was over Axe Backwards, who was basically the other resident jobber. Not to disrespect him, but Axe Backwards isn't considered an elite level robot. And here they just take out, in their very first fight of the season, a former champion and one of the most feared robots in the entire competition, and in absolutely spectacular fashion.
It was shocking. It was actually shocking, and there's gotta be
it legitimately stunned you into silence as you were making the joke, as we said before.
Exactly, yeah. There's gonna have to be some big knockouts if anything wants to topple this.
Yes, I mean, if we do end of season awards, this is probably still going to be up there.
Yeah.
In the knockouts.
Absolutely.
So although you never know, it depends on if we see anybody else literally explode again.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, look, I do not doubt that we're gonna get another full-on explosion.
Okay, and we will come back to this fight again in a minute. Next up, we have best performance in a losing effort, and as we said before, that one really has to go to Free Shipping.
Yeah, Free Shipping, big attempt, big fight. I'm trying to. I can't figure the word. I don't know how to think of words. It gave a lot, but it couldn't get the job done, unfortunately.
Yeah. But, they were very, very game. Free Shipping, great aggression, fantastic control. It put up an absolutely heroic fight against Blacksmith, but, Blacksmith was just too much for it in this instance. But, yeah, fantastic job and very deserving of the Best Performance in a Losing Effort award. Yeah. And, I'm really hoping that Free Shipping comes back from this and gets some victories this season, because I very much enjoy seeing Free Shipping every time, because they always put up such a heroic fight every time that they're in there.
Yes.
And it's just always really entertaining to see them. Alright, the next one. We return to Captain Shredderator versus Tombstone again in the Dark Horse Victory Award.
Yeah, there's really nothing else that could win this.
AKA also the... Oh no, wait, are we calling that the Spike Dudley Award? Or
I'm pretty sure this was the Spike Dudley Award.
Yeah, the Dark Horse Victory Award, the Giant Slayer, essentially. And we've covered this fight extensively already, but yeah, it's who else can really be deserving of this award this episode?
Yeah,
it's there's no one.
I don't think anything else will even be fucking as deserving during this entire season. But who knows? Who actually knows?
Yeah, that sounds about right. And with that, we come to our final award of the night, the Fight of the Night Award. And again, I feel like that's one that has to go to our opening match of the night.
Yeah, it was just too good an opener. It was the perfect opener. It was very likely. It was probably the best match of the night. Besides, Free Shipping and Blacksmith was probably the runner-up for this. It was a very close decision for this, but yeah. Soul Blaze versus Minotaur, match of the night.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Great, just everything that you could possibly want in a fight. You had a big, massive damage being dealt out, brilliant driving, great aggression, and something that kept you on the edge of your seat until the end of the bout. And like you said, free shipping versus Blacksmith, second place in this. But yeah, when you're losing to Soulblaze versus Minotaur, that's a hell of a bout to lose to anyway. There's no shame in like coming in behind that one because
Yeah.
that's just absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, there's
With
4
that, we
times.
move on to yeah. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to cut you
No,
off.
no,
There.
no, no, that's okay, that's good. That was the end of my sentence.
Cool. Okay, so with that, we have the predictions and expectations based off of this. Mac, do you have anything that you'd like to specifically talk about? You'd like to predict based off of this?
Not off the top of my head. Like I'll let you go. Like, and if I think of anything, like I'll come back.
Well, let's see. Based off of this episode, I'm expecting, of course, Sawblaze to make the round of 16, as it so often does. Minotaur, I'm expecting to make a big comeback in a future bout, depending on who they face, because they often manage to make big comebacks later on in the season. Uppercut to the round of 16, of course, I think is a lock as well. Gigabyte, the hemming and humming, it's going to depend on who they're up against.
Yeah.
I'm expecting to see Switchback come back stronger later in the season, hopefully having learned from their bout with Gruff. Blacksmith, I am really hoping comes back strong, building off of its opening performance and, makes it to the round of 16. But other than that, I don't really have much else to say other than obviously that I expect Hydra and Endgame to both make the round of 16 when the time comes as well.
Yeah, like I think Hydra and Endgame, like they're obviously gonna make it 16. Like unless we get like some big happenings in like those fights. Tombstone, on the other hand, like there's honestly there's a possibility that like they might not make it. Like I mean, obviously, like I feel like they are gonna make it because it's Tombstone. But
it
like,
really depends, I think.
It depends on who.
Last season, I'm pretty sure they went into they made it to the round of 16, but they did so based largely off of their pre-existing pedigree. Because if I'm remembering, Tombstone actually went 1 and 2 last season, didn't it?
I think so. God, I don't even. I think they did. Yeah. Let me check.
So I know that it lost to Endgame, but I can't remember who else it lost to.
Let me check. Where's Tombstone? Where's Tombstone? Here we go. Let's see. Losses. So last season, yeah, it lost to Endgame and it lost to Scorpios and Black Dragon.
Ah, yes.
So
that reminds me. I'm very much looking forward to seeing Black Dragon again this year.
Oh yeah. Oh, Black Dragon's always a treat.
I can't wait to see what the little duck is wearing this time as well.
Yeah, true.
How after every belt last time they would add a little something to it to the point that it was wearing a little suit of armor with bat wings as well. It was great.
Yeah, like I mean, look, they've got to start with the base duck, and then they've got to build up. That's always how it's got to be.
And it was great that they put the little black suit of armor on it as well, because it reminded me of the House Targaryen from, that
that once existed. That never went past season 5.
Yeah. Well, season 5 in itself is questionable as to whether or not it existed.
It never went past season 5, Jack. It went on the decline and then it just ended.
Yeah, sounds about right. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff to look forward to this season. I'm really looking forward to seeing a lot of the different robots.
Yes.
Is there anyone in particular you're looking forward to seeing?
I mean, you know the answer to that, Jack. You know the answer to that. The big man himself. Duck cool.
Oh, yes. Oh, dude, I'm so looking forward to seeing Duck back in action.
I need him next week. I need more Duck. I need more Duck in my veins, because we missed him last season.
Oh, yeah, we all missed Duck so much last season.
But now he's back. Now he's back and he's gonna win. He's gonna win the whole thing, Jack.
He protect, he attack, but most importantly, he quack. Literally this year.
Yes. God.
He's got an actual quacking sound effect that he can make.
True. Also Mad Catter.
Let's see him Daniel Bryan the whole thing. And yes, Mad Catter. I really want to see Mad Catter make it to the round of 16 again.
Mad
because
Catter versus Duck in the finals. I am calling it right now.
Oh man, can you imagine?
Dude, I would lose my mind. I would actually lose my mind.
Oh man. Okay, so that's the predictions and expectations. Do you have anything else you want to add before we go off air?
No. I think, yeah, we've solved it. We've
Yep,
solved everything.
Okay, as a heads up, everybody, we will probably be doing a non-Battlebot segment at the end of each episode, moving on after this one, but this week we don't really have anything prepared because, you know, this is only our first outing.
Yes.
So, and we did not want to give away anything, like, for example, anything that's going on in the Book of Boba Fett or Spider-Man or anything like that.
Yes,
so...
yeah, of course. Like, I mean, we could talk about wrestling, but Jack doesn't watch wrestling that much.
Hey!
You watch some wrestling.
I do. I'm just behind. I'm just behind on a lot
You were behind by several years.
Basically, I mean, I lead a busy life, Mac. You know how it is.
Look, there's always time for Noah. There was always time for Dragon Gate. There's there's no time for WWE, but there's always time for Dragon Gate.
I mean, everybody is in love with AEW right now, so yeah.
True, there's time for them. But it's mostly always time for Dragon Gate. What's Dragon Gate, people?
On that note, here's hoping we get to see Duck Bryan Danielson some stuff this year.
Yes.
Okay, so on that note, it's been lovely doing this, everybody. Mac, it's been an experience, to be sure.
It's been fun. I've never done a podcast before, and I'm pretty terrible. Look, please, if anyone's watching, please give me pointers.
We'll find our feet. We'll find our feet.
I will find my niche.
One as well.
Yeah. I will try to ramp up the comedy.
Excellent. Well, I look forward to it. Okay. With that, this has been the Jack and Mac Robot Roundup. I'm Jack. He's Mac. Thank you all for listening. All 2 or 3 of you, and hopefully we will see you. We will hopefully see you all next week. Ciao.
Bye bye.